information station, WTIM.
Welcome in to WTIM, your information station. I'm your host, Tim Zalabak. Thanks so much to the sponsors that make the show possible, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. On the phone line now is Samantha Reif, a Lincoln Land Community College professor of geology. How are you today, Miss Reif?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here with us. We got a big event coming down the way here. We're going to learn all about it today. We're talking solar eclipse all day today. Solar eclipse is coming here on April 8th, and we are in a good spot, it seems like, in Southern Illinois for some totality. So let's get started generally here. We got to learn about this. What is an eclipse? What is that phenomena happen up in the sky?
So basically all that's going on is that the moon is passing in front of the sun. And so the shadow of the moon falls upon the earth, and we get to see the eclipse.
Okay, that is really, really awesome, and that's what forms the shadows that cast over the land over here. And how long do they usually last for?
So it depends on the eclipse.
Okay.
Eclipses happen because of the geometry of the orbit, and so not every time the moon passes in between us do we get an eclipse. But an eclipse could be from less than a minute to a few minutes. This one's going to be, once we go into totality, it'll be about 4.5 minutes.
Wow.
So it's going to be pretty impressive.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty long one there. This is pretty awesome. Now, in 2017, there was a pretty great one that came across there. And it felt like back then, I was hearing that this is not going to happen for a very long time. It's happening now. But how often are these usually happening?
So an eclipse happens... some kind of an eclipse happens up to about 5 times a year.
Okay.
So they're not actually all that rare. A total solar eclipse maybe once or twice a year. The reason this one is rare and exciting is that if you think about the Earth, about 75% of the Earth is water. Mm-hmm. A lot of the land surface, like Antarctica and Siberia, don't have a lot of people in them. So for an eclipse to happen in North America and cross this many states, this one is going to go from Western Mexico all the way to Eastern Canada and everywhere in between. And so that is what makes this one unique, is that it's a hometown eclipse. Wow. Which we don't get very often.
No, yeah, not at all. That's really cool. And you said about 5 happen a year, which is pretty cool, but those go unnoticed by humans, but there is a passing of some kind.
There is a passing, right. And there are ways to go out and see them. If they're out in the ocean, there are cruises you can take. But again, this one is, there's not a lot of preparation for this one because it's going to happen right here in our backyard.
All right. Really, really awesome. Now, this is not something that you can hit rewind on. If you miss it, you miss it. So what time is this solar eclipse set to happen?
Okay. So on April 8th, it's going to start around 12:40. If you're in Taylorville or Springfield or the vicinity, it's not, or even in Southern Illinois, it's not going to look exciting for a while. What you're going to start to see is a little sliver of the sun being eaten away if you have your special glasses on. About 2:00 is when we're going to go into totality, and as I said, for about 4.5 minutes. And so that's about 2:00, and then the whole thing will finish around 3:30.
Wow. Okay. So we got our timeline set up right there. You mentioned some safety goggles right there. And now this is a very exciting day. You want to go out there, but you don't want the day to be ruined because some safety precautions need to be taken. Please tell us a little bit about this.
Absolutely. Just like any other day, it is unsafe to stare at the sun. Your eyes are very receptive to light, and the sun produces lots of ultraviolet light. That's what causes sunburns. And so your eyes can absorb that ultraviolet light if you're staring at the sun. Even during an eclipse, at any point in time, if the yellow surface of the sun is visible, the sun is producing too much ultraviolet light to look at directly. So you need to wear glasses. Now, as you mentioned, you mentioned to me before we got on the line that you've seen them out at stores, and that's a great. These are great tools. Be careful with them though. They are easily damaged. And so solar eclipse glasses need to be unblemished. They can't have holes in them. So the best test for them is if you just put them on and look at the world around you, not at the sun. Everything should look black. If you look at the sun, you should be able to do so comfortably. Okay. So you should see them sort of shaded, and you should do it comfortably. If you can't get solar glasses, or you're concerned, or you have little kids, a great thing to do, a little craft, would be to make a pinhole camera. And all you have to do is take a paper plate and a safety pin and poke a hole in the plate. Gouge it out, make it a little bit bigger. Any small hole that you can focus the sun through, you project that onto the sidewalk, and you'll be able to see the sun in the eclipse safely that way.
Whoa! And just through the shadow on the ground, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And wow. If you don't want to poke a hole in a paper plate, you can use a colander or anything that has a small hole in it. Works great.
I love it.
That's really great for little kids.
Yeah. Really cool idea right there, and fun to. Yeah, exactly right. Really fun for the kids there. And just to get this out to the listeners, my sunglasses in my car right now will not suffice.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. If you've ever been driving into the sunset, and you feel that sort of pain in your eyes, that is your eyes telling you to not look at the sun. So absolutely, sunglasses are not good enough.
Okay, perfect. And you bring up a funny point there with all other days of the year, we wouldn't look at the sun. So you're not going to do it on the solar eclipse day either. So, okay.
Right. And a lot of people think that around Taylorville, Springfield, we're going to be at about 97% totality, which is going to be really impressive. It's going to be really cool to look at. The light's going to change, but it's still not safe to look at without glasses.
Absolutely not. Very important for the listeners to hear that one, and everyone trying to enjoy this day. That would be a tough end to the solar eclipse. You gotta go get your eyes worked on. No, that is not what we are. That's not what we're looking for right there. So let's talk some of these phases, some of these stages, because the lights aren't going to just shut off on us. So explain a little bit of that orbit and what we're going to be experiencing.
Yeah, so what's going to happen, as I said, for a while, you're not going to notice it at all.
Right.
If you're just going to go about your day. Here in Springfield, as it progresses, as it gets closer to the 2 o'clock totality, it's going to start to, I don't know how to explain it, but the light gets weird. It's not like sunset. It's not like any other normal time of day. It's like the sun gets weak is what it is. And that's exactly what's happening, right? The sun is mostly being blocked. And so you'll see the sky might even look a little bit bluer, but there's just this sort of weakness to it. Now in Southern Illinois, if you get to go and be in totality, it will do that. It will progress past that point, and it will become dark. And it's an instantaneous dark, like somebody turned the lights out. The stars come out. The sky is black. The stars come out. I was down in Southern Illinois for the 2017 eclipse, and I was near a little stream, and there were some geese that came and landed on the stream, as they would do when the sun goes down. The frogs started calling. This was in August, and it was instantaneous. I think one of the most amazing things, though, it's night, it's dark, but all around you, because you are in a shadow, and the shadow of the moon is not very big, so all around you, on all horizons, it looks like twilight. It looks like dawn or sunset all the way around you. And then, of course, there's the eclipse in the sky. Yeah. So now the moon has blocked the photosphere, the bright part of the sun. And so the atmosphere of the sun, which is usually blocked, is visible. So there's red, sort of fiery looking things that come out around the surface, or around the moon's outside from the sun's lower atmosphere, and then the sun's upper atmosphere, which is white and wispy and goes many degrees across the sky. It's unbelievable.
Wow. And so many factors to keep in mind here. You talk about your surrounding ecosystems responding to this change. It is just so cool. We're going to take ourselves a little break right now. When we come back, we're going to learn about a fun viewing event held at Lincoln Land Community College and just learn more about this solar eclipse event. We're talking right now with Samantha Reif, a professor of geology for Lincoln Land Community College. Been a cool conversation so far. We're taking ourselves a break. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. We'll be right back here on WTIM. WTIM, your information station.
Your information station. WTIM.
I am Marsha Webb, your dedicated Republican candidate for Illinois State Representative from the 107th District. I am committed to strengthening our communities by championing economic growth, advocating for education, and ensuring public safety. With a proven track record of leadership and a passion for positive change, I am the voice we need in Springfield. Vote for a brighter future. Vote Marsha Webb for Illinois State Representative from the 107th District, paid for by the citizens for Marsha Webb.
It's warming up outside, and spring will be here before we know it. That means it's time to start scheduling your pool opening. The friendly folks at Southern Ledge Pools and Patios in Taylorville are ready to help you gear up for the season. Call 217-827-7665 to book your appointment. Don't have a pool? No problem. Come in today and let one of their experienced staff members help you select your own personal paradise. Southern Ledge Pools and Patios in Taylorville, your outdoor fun creator.
I'm Will Perkins, President and CEO of the Taylorville Community Credit Union. TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight, allowing a different nonprofit organization to be highlighted on WTIM, WMKR, and WRAN each month.
Hey, what has 7,000 square feet, hundreds of items that are over 100 years old, and over 700 framed pictures on its walls, and free admission? Why, the Christian County Coal Mine Museum, that's what. This is Chuck Martin, Executive Director, inviting you to come see what our museum has to offer. Our address is 1324 East Park Street in Taylorville, and our hours are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or by appointment at 217-526-4408.
This is Cammie Payne, General Manager of the Miller Media Group. We, along with TCCU, are proud to bring you the Community Spotlight each month.
TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
If you're 40 and over, you'll recognize these artists by their first names: Frank, Dean, Sammy, Andy, Nat, Diana, Michael. Well, here's the big news. You can now hear Central Illinois' largest music library with over 3,500 songs on air and online at 965thechill.com. Tune in on the FM dial in Christian County and on your computer or smartphone. Hear these great artists and many more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 965thechill.com.
Just Beds are the yawn exterminators, and they can give you a better night's sleep. Choose from Bemco, Chatham & Wells, Sealy, Simmons, and Tempur-Pedic. Find out the many models and styles available on their updated website by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Dr. Bill Byers of Byers Chiropractic, serving the Central Illinois area for 39 years. 2 doctors, 5.5 days a week, multiple techniques to get you pain-free and living your life. Find out more by clicking my banner icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. We are ready to help you.
Your information station. WTIM.
Welcome back to WTIM, your information station. I'm your host, Tim Zalabak. Thanks so much to the sponsors that make it possible: People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. This has been a fun conversation so far with Samantha Reif, a professor of geology at Lincoln Land Community College, and we have been learning all about the solar eclipse getting to South Central Illinois on April 8th this year. We're going to move right along with it because Lincoln Land Community College is going to be hosting a viewing event, and this sounds like a really good idea. Samantha, tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, if you can't make it to Southern Illinois, which I know a lot of people can't, consider coming out to Lincoln Land in Springfield. We're going to have a day of fun and learning with a watch party. We're going to have trivia and snacks and music and all kinds of activities. We have some organizations throughout the community that are coming to help out with this as well. And so it should be a really fun event. That's going to start at about 12:30 in the Student Union, which is in the lower level of Menard Hall on the main campus. And throughout the day, I'm going to be live streaming on Facebook. So you can, if you're in your office and you want to watch me, I'll be on the Lincoln Land Community College's Facebook page. Or if you're at the watch party, those will be broadcast into the union as well. So it should be a great day.
Love it. So many ways to view this great eclipse that's coming down the way. So you will be traveling south to get the good view. And yeah, we need our professionals down there. We don't need a bunch of randoms looking at the solar eclipse.
Right.
No, that is really awesome. That's cool. So you will be live streaming it, and it looks like you make an effort to see all these solar eclipses when they make their way.
You know, the last 2017 was my first,
Okay.
and it will not be my last for sure. I'm super excited. I remember I took a group down there, and as soon as it was over, everybody said, "Okay, so when is the next one again?"
Of course. I mean these happen every so often that you want to be there to experience, and especially someone that studies this field. It makes it that much more special. That is really awesome.
Absolutely.
So students and anyone that wants to really get involved in this viewing event, what do they have to know? Do you have to register? Can you just show up?
You can just show up. It'll be open to the public. We welcome all students people of all ages, anyone interested. Come out and have a fun day at Lincoln Land.
Beautiful. Open to all. It's exactly what we want to hear. And if listeners want to get any more information about this event, where can they go?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, llcc.edu. You can also follow us on Facebook or social media. I know there's been a social media, a Facebook event that's been opened on Facebook, so you can get information there. And I'll be doing some informational posts on social media in the next month leading up to it as well. So.
Awesome. Samantha, thank you so much for that. And we still got a little bit more time in this interview, and I thought it'd be a decent opportunity for us to talk about some more sun movement and paths, learn a little bit more about that orbit. And I had a question that kind of moves a little bit away from the eclipse side of things. But in those areas, I think of Alaska when I think of it, those places that get low sunlight, like low times of sunlight. Is that a time of year? Is that an everyday thing? What's going on with those places that get like 3 hours of sunlight? What does that mean?
Yeah. So have you ever noticed that if you look at a globe is always tilted.
Yeah.
It's never up and down,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Okay. And that actually is mimicking the Earth. The Earth is tilted like that.
Okay.
And so as the Earth goes around the sun, that tilt angle points always at the same place in space. So you can imagine that sometimes the North Pole tilt is pointed away from the sun, and sometimes it's pointed towards the sun. So if you take a globe and shine a flashlight on it, you'll notice that there are places where the flashlight falls and where it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so, and that changes as you move it around its orbit. So if you go to Alaska in the winter, it's dark, and it's dark there because the flashlight isn't reaching that part of the Earth, or not very much.
Okay.
Yeah, and so if you're above the Arctic Circle in most of December, you're not going to see the sun at all. If you're in the Antarctic Circle at that time, you'll see the sun the whole time.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then in June, those two things switch.
Okay.
So if you want 24 hours of sunlight, you go to the Arctic.
Alrighty.
In June.
My questions are answered, and we got a little education lesson right there from Samantha Reif. That is really awesome. You've been doing that for 17 years. Been a professor at Lincoln Land for that long?
I have. So I love it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And this time of year just makes it even that much more exciting. We're talking eclipses on April 8th, and Samantha says they happen about 5 times a year, but this is a big one right here. When are we expecting our next big one?
So the next time that we'll see a total solar eclipse in Illinois will be in 2099.
Whoa.
So I'm pretty sure you need to check this one out.
2099. You all heard that. That makes it just even that much more important. There are multiple ways you can view this. We're talking about the solar eclipse viewing event at Lincoln Land Community College. And one more time with that information, when does that start?
That starts at 12:30 on the 8th in the Student Union on main campus in Menard Hall, and all are welcome.
Beautiful. And you can also watch it live on the live stream on your Facebook, Lincoln Land Community College Facebook.
Correct.
Beautiful. Samantha, thank you so much for taking the time and breaking this all down for us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That was a fun one with Samantha Reif, a professor of geology at Lincoln Land Community College. We talked all about the solar eclipse, bringing totality to Southern Illinois on April 8th. Very excited for that. My name's Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you all for listening.
Your information station, WTIM.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.
Just in case you had